Everyone who lives in a forested landscape has considered the possibility of wildfire. But few of us who received the order to evacuate our community 1 year ago could have fully appreciated, let alone been prepared for, the many challenges that lay ahead. And yet, every day since has witnessed Jasperites rising to the challenge of picking up the pieces, caring for one another, and finding ways to move forward on the path to recovery one step at a time. This is what we are here to reflect upon, and I express my gratitude to the dignitaries who have joined us for that purpose, and to all of you for making this morning's event part of your journey. As we look back on the past year, it's also important to recognize that our stories are not solely about strength and resilience. They are also about sorrow, loss, and feeling overwhelmed. As we reflect on what we've experienced together and individually, it's normal for those feelings to come to the surface. We don't have to face them alone. We have our friends, our families, our community. We also have support from professionals and volunteers who have the tools and training to help hold us up through these difficult moments. Many of them are here on hand today. The Red Cross, who have been such important partners throughout the past year, have members on hand to support you if what comes up for you this morning feels like too much. Recovery Alberta has mental health therapists here as well, and I encourage you to speak with them if that feels healthy with you. And there are community members in the audience today who have been trained through the Pathfinders program to offer supportive listening, strategies for coping, and direction to other supportive resources that might be of help. Look for that fireweed logo on a hat or a backpack and open a conversation with them. We are all here today as community to support one another. And now to this morning's program. We are honored to be joined this morning by distinguished speakers who wish to share their reflections and words of support on this important anniversary. The Honorable Eleanor Olszewski, Minister of Emergency Management and Community Resilience, is here representing the Government of Canada. Todd Loewen, Minister of Forestry and Parks, is here representing the Government of Alberta. Our Mayor, Richard Ireland, is on hand to offer his reflections on behalf of the Municipality of Jasper. Ron Holman, President and CEO of Parks Canada, is with us to offer remarks on behalf of Parks Canada. And Bruce Cutknife, Indigenous Education Coordinator at Musqueam Cultural College, is on hand to offer his insights and reflection. Our event this morning will close with a smudge offered by local knowledge keeper, Matricia Bauer. All are invited to participate, and I believe Matricia will have some words to share about that when the time is right. And now, I would like to invite the Honorable Eleanor Olszewski to offer her remarks on behalf of the Government of Canada. Minister.
Thank you so much, Doug. Good morning, everyone. Bonjour à tous. I want to begin by acknowledging the individuals that are sharing the stage this morning, Minister Loewen and Mayor Ireland, CEO Ron Holman, and Elder Bruce Cutknife, and I also acknowledge the number of MLAs, the many MLAs that are with us this morning. You know, it's really an honor for me to be here today, and I want to express my gratitude to all of the individuals that I've just named for their leadership and for their steadfast commitment to this beautiful town of Jasper and this entire region. You know, it's really a day of mixed emotion, isn't it? It's a time to reflect and a time to remember and even a time to grieve. But it's also a time to acknowledge the incredible strength and the unity that we have seen in this community over the past year. Just 1 year ago, emergency responders, friends, neighbors, visitors, they all banded together to evacuate more than 25,000 people from Jasper. And because of these heroic efforts, Everyone was evacuated safely, and that's an incredible feat and really something for which we are all so grateful. The Jasper wildfire was no doubt one of the most frightening experiences and moments for the people that had to leave everything behind. And likely unbeknownst at the time, it was also the start of a really challenging road ahead for Jasper and its people, the people that lived here and worked here, raised their families here, and built businesses here. The impacts were devastating, and I'd like to take a moment to remember firefighter Morgan Kitchen, who lost his life protecting his community. I really can't hope to understand what it would be like to have experienced what you have all gone through, and how so much of your way of life was changed so dramatically. But I join you today as a fellow Canadian and a frequent visitor to this beautiful treasure called Jasper. Like so many who have spent time here, I really have a place in my heart for this community and a deep respect for your extraordinary courage. Your strength, individually and collectively, is the reason why Jasper remains so vibrant and the welcoming community for which it's known not only in Alberta and in Canada, but throughout the world. Each of you is part of the healing and rebuilding that will continue to take place. I did a tour last night. I see homes under construction, businesses reopening, and the community's really moving forward together. I know, though, that there are challenges ahead. I know that the road hasn't been easy. Many business owners and homeowners are still struggling to get back on their feet. Recovery is not a straight line. There are obstacles and there are frustrations, but it is happening, and that's because of your strength and your determination. So, on behalf of your federal government, I want to express my profound gratitude for everyone involved in the business of rebuilding and recovery and renewal. Jasper's beauty and spirit have always inspired, and they will continue to do so. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Olszewski. Next, I would like to invite Minister Todd Loewen, Minister of Forestry and Parks for the Government of Alberta.
Thank you very much, and good morning, and thank you for the invitation to commemorate the one-year anniversary of the Jasper wildfire. I just want to take a special note to the firefighters in the crowd here. We have representatives from Alberta Wildfire, from Parks Canada, and from the municipal firefighters here, the people that were on the ground fighting this fire. Today's event brings back a lot of difficult memories for residents of Jasper, and these memories are still very fresh. It was an incident that fundamentally changed this community, the lives of those who call Jasper home, and the Alberta wildfire family who assisted in fighting the wildfire. Alberta's government was here working side by side with Parks Canada and the town of Jasper every step of the way. I am thankful for all our partners who worked together for the good of the community. We worked well together. 1 year ago today, July 22nd, 2024, we supported response efforts by sending firefighters, air tankers, helicopters, and other resources, as well as contributing to Unified Command. For 50 days, Alberta Wildfire supported the incident management team in fighting the flames surrounding this community. This incident became Alberta Wildfire's top priority, with the full force of our firefighting resources made available to protect Jasper. Alberta Wildfire sent more than 175 firefighters, specialists, air tankers, helicopters, and critical equipment to support the firefight. Mitigating the risks of catastrophic wildfires is a major focus of our government. We are supporting the construction of community fire guards, significantly increasing the resilience of at-risk communities. Keeping Albertans safe is our highest priority. We're focused on helping communities become better prepared to protect themselves from wildfire. We're helping communities use fire-smart programs to reduce wildfire risks by managing flammable trees and vegetation to prevent them from fueling dangerous and fast-moving wildfires. We funded improvements in wildfire weather monitoring systems and added wildland urban interface crews this season to help keep communities safer from wildfires. As we commemorate the one-year anniversary of the Jasper wildfire, recognizing the contributions of Alberta Wildfire Team who worked alongside municipal firefighting teams and Parks Canada officials is important because the work they do is dangerous. While we know that 30% of Jasper was lost to wildfire, we must honor the people who helped save the remaining 70% of the community. The Alberta Wildfire Team lost one of our own, firefighter Morgan Kitchen, who was battling a blaze near the town here and died on August 3rd, 2024. His sacrifice will always be remembered, and our thoughts are with Morgan's family, friends, and wildfire team on this day. The Government of Alberta wants the people of Jasper to know you are not alone. Since the wildfire occurred, Alberta's government has approved $181 million in disaster financial assistance, along with property tax relief for the community of Jasper. Alberta's government continues to work alongside municipal and federal colleagues to help get Jasper back to the place we know and love. It's going to be a lot of work, but Albertans are resilient during difficult times and generous when it comes to helping one another see their way through to a solution. I've seen it many times before, and I'm confident that Jasper will make it through stronger and more resilient than it ever has been. I encourage you to keep hope alive, work together to seek solutions, challenges, and keep the discussion going for innovative ways to move forward. We remain by your side as the rebuilding continues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Lowen. Next, I would like to ask our Mayor, Richard Ireland, to offer his remarks. Mayor Ireland.
Thank you, Doug. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for attending. It is so fitting that we gather here in Commemoration Park to mark the passage of 1 year since the wildfire which changed our community and changed all of us. Gathering has been our salvation. This is an anniversary, it's not a celebration, it is truly a commemoration, a recognition of all that we have endured, all that we continue to carry, and all that we are working toward. Before formally recognizing our distinguished guests and other significant folks among us, even before commencing with my commemorative remarks, I want to first recognize and respect that some of you may be attending today with some measure of apprehension or trepidation, fearful perhaps that some remark or reflection may trigger an intense and unwelcome reaction. Some residents who have returned home to Jasper may have intentionally stayed away this morning to avoid that very risk. The events of last July, however they may have been experienced by residents, remain absolutely fresh in our memories. Our emotions remain raw. Your feelings, your emotions, whatever they may be, they are real. They are valid, and we know they may be easily stirred. My hope, and I expect yours, is that in paying homage to all that we've been through, in recognizing our progress and our successes, in commemorating this sad anniversary, we do not stir too much. I thank and admire all of you for braving that very risk this morning, just as you have all braved the last 12 months. And to all of those residents who have been unable to attend, in part because perhaps they have been unable to return to Jasper, and some indeed so selflessly as to not return so as to leave limited housing options available to others, or for any other reason, please know that we similarly admire, respect your sacrifice, your commitment to community, and your bravery. And we share your desire to return and will continue to work towards creating opportunities to allow you to come home. And now perhaps I can begin where I was supposed to have begun, by welcoming our distinguished guests. As you heard, the Honorable Minister Eleanor Olszewski, Minister of Emergency Management and Community Resilience, and Minister responsible for Prairie's Economic Development Canada. Minister Todd Loewen, Minister of Forestry, Parks and Tourism, Government of Alberta. In the crowd, I'm honored to recognize Minister Jason Nixon, Minister of Seniors, Community and Social Services, Alberta. Mr. Ron Holman, President and CEO of Parks Canada Agency. And I am also honored and proud to acknowledge and welcome Elder Bruce Cutknife of the Sampson Cree Nation. Thank you, sir, for joining us today and for sharing this space with us. Among us today also are valued members of the Jasper Volunteer Fire Brigade and the Jasper Fire Department, Parks Canada and Province of Alberta Wildland Fire Crews, the RCMP, representatives of Team Rubicon, and members of the Canadian Red Cross. Thank you all for attending. I thank all of you for being here today, and more importantly, for standing with our community during our most difficult hours and for every day since. Your dedication, your contribution, and your presence mean more than words can express. As we gather today, I too take this opportunity to remember Morgan Kitchen, an Alberta wildland firefighter who gave his life battling to protect this special place, a place so many of us are privileged today to call home, and a place which Indigenous peoples have called home since time immemorial. Morgan's courage and his sacrifice will never be forgotten. 1 year on, while the initial shock and some of the aftershocks of the event may have subsided, the weight and the burden on the shoulders of residents has not diminished. In some cases, it may have increased as time itself becomes a heavy burden. Recovery continues. For some, there has been steady progress. For others, sorrow and frustration may continue to dominate, interspersed, hopefully, with moments of success, brightness, and optimism. And for some, it may still feel as the fire happened only yesterday. The strength and resilience of the community, which was revealed at the outset, continues to define and honor all of you. That resilience has recently added a new component, endurance. We knew from the outset that recovery would be neither quick nor easy. We are now living that reality. For many, this may be the most difficult chapter yet. We are all now navigating our changed home, a new Jasper, in different ways. Some have returned home, if not to their own home, then to some form of alternative accommodation in their hometown. Others have not yet had the opportunity to return. Some are rebuilding. All are grieving a combination of personal, business, and community loss. Each journey is intensely personal. Each journey is unique. Each journey is real. The challenges we all face are enormous, magnified by the fact that the end is not yet in sight. The only way through is through. We cannot avoid, we cannot go over, we cannot go around. We can only go through, leaning on each other, supporting each other every step of the way, ensuring that none walk alone. We have differences in our circumstances, differences in our perspectives, yet despite those differences, we remain united. As a community, we continue to recognize that loss for one, loss for some, is loss for all. We are still, in the most meaningful sense, all in this together. We continue to lean on one another, to support one another, to show up for one another, again and again. That is what Jasper does. That is what Jasper has demonstrated to the nation for a year, that it does so well. There are visible signs of progress, indeed. Meaningful, happy signs. There are, importantly, less visible signs too. Acts of genuine kindness, demonstrations of patience, steadfast determination, helping hands. These are the foundations of recovery. These are the foundations of community, and that community is you. I thank every one of you for all you have done and all you continue to contribute. All residents, the recovery teams, our partners federally and provincially, our visitors, everyone who continues to support all of us and continues to offer Jasper the resources, the time, and the space it needs to heal and to recover. Your efforts, your compassion matters. Your commitment will shape our future. That future will be bright, thanks to all of you. Recovery is ongoing. There is still much work to do. Yet Jasper is here. We are resilient. We are healing. We are enduring. And we will endure. We will recover. We will thrive together. It is said that adversity does not build character, it reveals character. The wildfires of 2024 have revealed our community's authentic character. Strong, united, compassionate, and quietly brave. On this day of commemoration, I wish each of you only continued strength, positive reflections, and a hopeful, optimistic, generous outlook. Continue to be kind to each other. Continue to be kind to yourselves. Together, we are at our strongest. In community, I thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor Ireland, for those beautiful words and for everything that you've done to represent our community so truthfully over the past year. Next, I would like to invite Parks Canada CEO and President Ron Holman to give some remarks.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm not sure whose idea it was that I should go after the mayor and the ministers, but it is an honor to be here. You know, it's not often that an unelected professional public servant would share a stage and a podium with elected officials from all three orders of government in Canada, but it is an honor to be here to speak on my behalf, on behalf of my family, and I have my daughter Emily here with me, and on behalf of Parks Canada, and on behalf of public servants from all over who answered the call a year ago and who continue to answer the call today. You know, when I was informed of the situation a year ago, it was hard to imagine it getting any worse. And then it did. I was in the command center when we learned about Morgan's accident. And I was there when we learned that he had passed. And in meeting his mom and his dad and his family a couple of times since then, I am struck by what they told me about how much he loved his job, how much he relished being on the fire line, how his eyes lit up telling them about a job that they were skeptical about whether they wanted him doing it, but he was going to do it anyway. And I've seen that same determination and enthusiasm in all of the firefighters, the wildland firefighters that I met from across Canada a year ago when we were visiting with them when they came home each night from the fire line to have their dinner. And so what sustains me, and I hope sustains others, as we continue the important work of helping Jasper to rebuild and heal, is the work of the amazing organizations that have been our partners. The Red Cross, Alberta Wildfire, that was with us from day one, even before day one, through the planning and preparations and drilling and testing. Alberta Emergency Management Agency, Recovery Alberta, Health Canada on mental health supports, structural firefighters, the volunteer firefighters from the town, but also those that came from hundreds of miles away to help, CAN Task Force 2, and a host of others, including more than a dozen federal departments working behind the scenes to help. And you know, we could not have had a better partner than the municipality of Jasper, all the employees there, and the mayor and council. And so today is an opportunity to acknowledge what happened, to acknowledge the progress that has been made, and the fact that everyone is at a different point in their own recovery. And that is hard, it's exhausting, it's uncertain, it's destabilizing. I just want to acknowledge that because it is a burden and we recognize the pressure the community has been under. And I really want to speak, if I may, to those town employees and Parks Canada employees who on that night stepped up, evacuated more than 20,000 people in the middle of the night in a period of 5 hours, safely. And even as their friends, their children, their family, their neighbors, their colleagues were evacuating, they stood there and they did their job to make sure others got out. They stood there to fight the fire, some fighting a fire at a home even as they watched their own burn. These are heroes, and we cannot forget what they've given. For me, that's what today is about. And so I will leave you with Parks Canada's commitment that we will be here. We're not going anywhere. We've been here since 1907, and we will be by your shoulders until this work is done and beyond. And if I may finish, I would like to thank Minister Olszewski, Minister Lowen, the Mayor, Minister Nixon, and all of the elected officials here. The attention and the leadership that you are bringing to this collectively through a whole bunch of challenges is acknowledged and appreciated by those of us who are just doing our job to try and help Jasper rebuild and heal. And your leadership is appreciated. Thank you all. Thank you for welcoming me and my daughter Emily here today. I wish you continued progress in this very difficult journey as we all work collaboratively and together to write the next chapter in the proud history of Jasper. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hallman. Before I introduce our last speaker this morning, I'd like to take one more opportunity to thank all of the speakers who have joined us this morning, Minister Olszewski, Minister Lowen, Mayor Ireland, President and CEO of Parks Canada, Ron Holman, and Bruce Cutknife. I would also like to thank everyone in the audience once again for choosing to join us in community on this day, and all of those who could not be here, including those who have had to make the difficult choice to leave Jasper, either temporarily or permanently. Thank you for making Jasper what it is and building the foundation for our recovery. As I mentioned earlier, our morning's event will end with a smudge provided by Jasper's own Matricia Bauer. When that is finished, if it feels right to you, I invite you to stay to connect with each other and with our speakers who have joined us this morning. Later, at 2 o'clock this afternoon, Bruce Cutknife will facilitate a talking circle in the Activity Center at the Multipurpose Hall, right over here. All are welcome to participate. At 4:30 this afternoon, the JRCC will host a recovery meet and greet here in Commemoration Park to answer whatever questions you may have or concerns you'd like to express about recovery. There are supported events taking place throughout the community all week, and I encourage you to engage with those things that resonate with you. And now it's my privilege to introduce Bruce Cutknife of the Samson Cree Nation. Bruce is the Indigenous Education Coordinator at Musqueam Cultural College. He's a researcher and a knowledge keeper who has been involved in numerous projects related to Cree language, history, and culture. He and his community have deep and continuing connections to this place, and we are honored to have him join us this morning. Bruce.
Aha. Ninanas kommunista hota hintum gawia ante pe big squat takok. Ni miwe teno gawi tapmako guista wow. Nsta he egi pakam skagots come iskuteu ka ki mo te tota. Niwi tamako takayas ke teia. Ataki am peak peko tanstohtas ne hio e. Ego kaki keka wa hio ke tohtaikon. Magahe kwa ho tahochi ngaka yasimon. I am also grateful to be here to speak with you and talk to you about the commemoration of what had occurred here 1 year ago. I am also honored to be sitting with such dignitaries who have brought you much sympathy and much encouragement in how you should move forward to what that has occurred. Commemorations are important. In our culture, we always commemorate significant events, birthdays, celebrations, deaths. And those are also very important so we can recognize what has occurred. And that is what you are doing here as well. I am saddened to hear that somebody had passed because of this, because from what I understood that everybody evacuated safely, but did not know that there was an incident afterwards where one of the firefighters perished. And hopefully he will have a commemoration as well, possibly a feast. Because in our culture, when a person departs, 1 year is like 1 day in the afterworld. And after a while, they need spiritual feeding, significance. So we do that commemoration by having a feast and offering a spirit plate to the individual. Now, I talked about the incident of fire, and I always tell the story of when I was in university. The professor told us about the theory about how the earth was formed. And from that, the earth coalesced, and there was constant volcanic activity. Lava was flowing. It was bombarded by meteors and comets. And when the comet landed on the lava, it immediately evaporated. And it created a rudimentary atmosphere, which had rain. So the cycle was repeated over and over again. And when he said that, I thought, how did the elders know? How did the elders know that there were, we called them nistame maganak, the entities that were created first. Okawi Mawaski, our mother the earth. Iskoteo, fire. Nipi, water. Oh, din. the air, and the atmosphere. From that cycle, there were constant thunderstorms that happened over thousands, maybe a millennium of years. And it was like an eternal sweat lodge ceremony that created the steam. And from that, you get thunder. So one of the entities is the thunderbird that brings us the life. And from that lightning, allegedly created the entities, the amino acids that brought up life. So that was, for me, it was an eye-opening story that affirmed that our culture, spiritual beliefs are part of one and the earth. And of course, the earth, we called it our mother because she provides life and it itself is alive. The earth is alive. You could see it all around you. It cannot provide life unless it itself is alive. Fire, that's what we should recognize as much like the Greek myth that Prometheus brought it down to the humans. And he was punished for what he did. But we believe that fire has always been part of life, and it is part of our cycle that provides warmth. It cooks our food. But if it's played with or abused, it could be a destroying entity. When we were children, how they taught us to respect fire was, don't play with fire. Any Cree I will ask, what did their parents tell you about fire? They said, if you play with fire, you will pee your bed. So that's a kind of a shaming way of telling people how to respect and how not to play with fire. Fire is all around us. I mean, it gives us all the things that provides for us, the heat in our house, the electricity. All these entities are all related to fire. And fire, I found out recently, was a feminine entity. Iskoteu is what we call fire. Isqueo is what we call a woman. So certainly it has that creation. And hell hath no fury than a woman scorned. So it's so important to respect fire for what it is because it is also part of nature. We can see it all around us. And sometimes these events do occur. It's not within our grasp as to why it would occur and so on, because it comes from the sky and hits the ground. When I talked to some employees of the park, some of them actually saw the lightning that started those fires. And that itself would be almost scary that it comes so close, because we hear of people getting struck by lightning, and some survive and some do not. But it's important to recognize all the aspects of nature, to acknowledge that it's around us, and to see that it is all a part of life. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for listening to me. And whatever little experience or knowledge that I have, I could share with you. Most of it has been shared with me from elders that many have since passed on. And I'm thankful to them for providing this information for me to share with you. Thank you very much. Hi, hi.
Finally, for this morning's program, I'd like to invite Patricia Bauer to come forward and offer a smudge. And as I mentioned, you're all welcome to participate. Patricia will be here at the stage. Feel free to gather around. And I think Patricia will give a few words of direction before we begin.
Well, I wasn't nervous till I got here. Thanks for that. But today I'll be doing a smudge for anybody who wants to participate. I'm going to be doing it down there at the table. I like that Bruce confirmed that women are a fire. I like that better than the rib. It's a lesson I've had to learn in my own personal story, that my fire can either burn or warm the people beside me. You are never required to smudge, but instead are welcome to participate if you want. Reasons for not smudging are sensitivity to smoke or allergies, women who are on their moon time, and still those whose personal practices doesn't practice in this way. Out of respect for those who are smudging, we ask that there's no pictures or filming. I will be drumming a smudge song, and I welcome you to record and take pictures of me doing that. Smudging is a clearing process that is open to everyone and is a way to realign your body, your mind, and your spirit. Today I am using all of 4 medicines: the cedar, the sage, the sweetgrass, and the tobacco. My name's Matricia Bauer. My traditional name is Iskoachi Tawachi Nitsigatson. So Tansei Sinawak and Kinanuskum Tanawao. Cleanse me of all my negativity, and cleanse me of all my animosities. Sweet grass and sage. To my eyes for clean sight, to my mouth to speak right, to my heart a joyful thoughts, to my body for its motion, I give all my devotion. Heal me of all my negativity, and heal me of all my animosities. Sweet grass and sage are mine. Kinanuskum Tanawao. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our program for this morning. Thank you again for joining us. All the best to you for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, and the road that lies ahead.